Well, hello, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to Allianz Park on this slightly chilly December afternoon as the NatWest Champions Trophy final is set to take place here between Tonbridge School and Bedford School. Delighted to be joined by Sam Howard, former Blackheath, Roslyn Park and Exeter Chiefs fly half, also a man with plenty of experience of schoolboy rugby, having coached at Dulwich College and Eltham College as well. Sam, great to have you alongside me. I know that we'll get stuck into the game in a little while up in the commentary position, but what sort of standard of schoolboy rugby can we expect here this afternoon?
An extremely high standard. Tonbridge and Bedford School traditionally, year on year, produce excellent first teams. Always play a good brand of rugby. So I'm really excited about this final. I think this competition has gone from strength to strength over the last 2 or 3 years. You saw the semi-finals, they were outstanding. I think we're in for an absolute brilliant final.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's talent enough in these teams that there could be players from these sort of games that one day grace this pitch in a senior side for a Saracens or a Premiership club.
Oh, I've got no doubt. I think if you look over the last 2 years, both Tonbridge and Bedford have produced Premiership players. Elliot is at Northampton now. He was a Bedford player. I remember him playing against us at Dulwich. Ben Earls is at Saracens, left Tonbridge last year. So I'm sure there'll be a few players out there that would love to be playing on this stadium over the next few years.
Brilliant. Well, Tonbridge, of course, got through to this final having knocked out Oakham. We followed Tonbridge, or we started our journey with Tonbridge back in a balmy September afternoon, that game against Hampton. And the other semi-final was Bedford dispatching of Epsom. That was a rerun of the final here last year. Two really entertaining semi-finals. Let's look back at the highlights from both of those games. As the NatWest Schools Champions Trophy reaches the semi-final stage. Skipper Torpy has got to hit his man, which he does. Well done from Josh Clark-Bell. Now they try and rotate it towards the touchline on the far side and look to try and break. Oh, and then they get a bit of a rumble on. Not close enough to the line yet though. Away from Saville, through Holder, cutting back inside. Oh, it's a really good direct line. Is he going to go all the way? Logan Didier, yes he is! What a try from Epsom! And look at the strength from the inside centre. It's a great score from the home side. Ball's in from Dalton. Now they look to go back to the short side. Dalton might have got away from his man. Bowes has to step in field to try and finish it, and now he might be isolated. Although the referee, I think, is playing an advantage to Bedford there. Back with Finch. Crash ball is Colston Kane, being moved sideways more than he is forwards.
Still playing red.
It's there for Bedford still. Dalton into the hands of Hussey. Trying to get some go forward then. Little pirouette to lay the ball back. Kerr. Well, he's trying to go himself there. That probably wasn't the right option. Referee recognising it. Well, I think now it's going to have to be card time. And it is. And I think it's Alex Coe. Well, he's not entirely sure, but putting his body in the wrong side and not rolling away is slowing down a quick ball for Bedford. Out of your shot, he's waiting over on the far side, desperate to get back on. Can Bedford make the numbers tell? They're going to try and use the back line. And then it's Orchard, and they wrap around the outside. Dingwall needs the support, gets it from Kite. Kite still going, is he in at the corner? Referee says try given.
That's it now.
Bedford on the score sheet, and they make the numbers count eventually. Now that has that got in, oh, very, very close indeed to adding the extras, and well, in a low-scoring game, how crucial they could have been. They come out through Dalton, they're going to try and create the extra men over on the outside. They do eventually slip through, and it's Fraser Dingwall, the skipper, from the more central position. Bedford have punished Epsom. Dingwall with the score. Well, with the conversion attempt then. Drills it just wide of that right hand upright, or left as he's looking at it. Well, the volume will go up because Epsom need the crowd now. Here's a replay as the ball goes on the far side. It was just a slip of the tackle from Ed Hughes, and Dingwall was through. That one-on-one proved enough. Dingwall, Scotland under-16s captain. He's got the skills to know what he's doing. Epsom School's friends, they're cheering them on from the bank. They're showing them the way to the line.
No time for line-up.
It's getting darker as the clouds approach. Can they bring a bit of sunshine to end this semi-final? The referee says that time is up, so they're not going to get the chance to kick it into the corner or do anything. It's going to be quick tap time.
Hold. 8. Yeah.
Fighting for a place in the final. They'll meet either Oakham or Tonbridge. Gulliver taps, thought he might have been the threat, gives it to Causa. They're going to try and spread it wide. Brilliant passing. And then another attempted step through from Callum Mullett. Bedford try and get them out. Williams is there. The next infringement and the game is over. Causa. Epsom still with it, trying to overturn the scoreline. Are they going to be beaten by Bedford again in the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy? Williams to the right, Gulliver. Such a good player for them in the final, trying to do it all himself. Williams to the left, try scorer already for Epsom in Logan Didier.
Thank you.
Williams, plenty of chat from the young scrum half, looking left and right. Clark Bell with that carry. Oh, but then has it gone forward? Referee, I think, says it went back. Happy enough with it. Maybe he just doesn't want to end this contest as gripping as it's been. Williams onto Gulliver. If Oakham Tonbridge is half as good as this, we're in for an absolute treat next Tuesday in the other semi-final. There's no doubt about that. It's live on englandrugby.com. Do join us for that. But we're not done here yet, as Epsom come again, struggling to bring down Alex Coe. He'd love to go from 0 to hero, being the man who got that yellow card at the end of the first half. They ship it out. Gulliver. Did it go forward then? It did. Brutally off the man who gives Epsom so much. And the final whistle is blown. It's heartbreak for Epsom, the team that were the first team on the scoreboard and were looking to do it all against Bedford. And Bedford School are in the final again to defend the NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy title. What an incredible game we've witnessed here at Epsom. Heartbreak for the home side, but you have to give full credit to their effort defensively and in attack. Some superb rugby from both sides, individuals not willing to give it up. Some great skills on show, and what a showcase for the future of British rugby and English rugby.
The NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy semi-final as Oakham School host Tonbridge School. Wilkinson ran into a little bit of trouble there, and Drew Dainton takes it on. Got another advantage from the referee. The ball has squirted clear. The flags of Andy Smith and Bill Burton, the assistants, go up, and Dainton gets us underway. Around about 8 minutes gone here. 15 metres from the line. Oakham really on the back foot with an advantage coming. There are numbers here too. Can they ship it on? Oh no, it's been knocked forward by Oliver Ward. The chance goes begging. They go back for the penalty advantage, but once again Tonbridge unable to capitalise on an Oakham mistake inside their own 22. Opportunities to score have been at a premium, and this is pretty much a gimme. Let's have a look at this. The ball was right in the breadbasket for Ward. He still had a man to beat, but that really is a great chance for the left winger. Couple of steps, the right boot goes through it. He's 2 from 2, and Tonbridge, as we approach half-time, lead Oakham in Oakham 6-0. Garforth moves it on.
No advantage.
Freddie Davis, 18 or 20 metres out, bang in front of the sticks to get Oakham off the mark, and he does so. Dummy and go. Mullins is in there. Tries to switch the play inside. There's advantage coming here, and there's the offload. Puts a big right boot on it and makes the score 9-3. Nico Likiadopoulos didn't look a particularly clean strike, but the flags go up. Platform for Petrie to attack from. Hammered forward there by Sporforth. Turns Ben Bolton-Smith, filling in at full-back. Johnson Fisher outside him and finds him again, though it's a loose pass and they cough up possession inside the 22. Is this the chance? Is this the opening score? Yes, it is. Likiadopoulos gets the first try of the match to add to his 2 penalty goals. And Tonbridge now 17-3 to the good here at Oakham. Mistake, too many. Looking to release Johnson Fisher. Ben Bolton-Smith didn't have eyes on the man he was passing to. It was well gathered by the hooker, Drew Dainton, had the vision, picked up Likiadopoulos outside him despite the defensive attention of the Oakham left winger. He dabs down in the corner. Well, a tough kick for the right footer here. It's again, doesn't look the best strike, but does the business. The flags go up. Off-fourth, but he's tackled well, gets the offload away. Pass off the left hand. Conditions so difficult underfoot now.
Back.
And again, it's gone to ground. Johnson Fisher, he's lost the scrum cap now.
Penalty advantage.
Penalty advantage. George Head's gone marching over the top. Penalty taken quickly. Laid off to the number 17, Tom Davis. Gets the try for Oakham. But is it too little, too late? 3 steps and the strike. That is across the face. And that is full time here at Doncaster Close. And look at those celebrations from Tonbridge School. They've booked their place at Allianz Park and they have defeated Oakham 19 points to 8.
So Tonbridge getting through then with that result against Oakham. And here we are. The scene is set. Tonbridge School against Bedford School. We are live from Allianz Park. And, well, we are building up to kick-off. Alongside me now that we're up in our commentary position is Sam Howard. And, Sam, both of these teams bring their own attributes to the game. And they've both had sort of slightly different routes to the final in terms of the quality of their opposition. How do you merit those?
I think we're going to see 2 outstanding schools. I always used to love playing against Tonbridge and Bedford. We see here Tonbridge results. 4 brilliant schools they've beaten there. Hampton, Millfield, Eton and Oakham all have been outstanding over the last few years. Millfield, regularly the best team in the country. Hampton have got to the semi-finals of the NatWest Cup regularly. They won St Joe's last year. So that's impressive. To beat those 4, it just shows the quality of this competition now. To have the quality of those schools you're playing against, and they thoroughly deserve to be here in the final.
And we can have a look at the results for Bedford as well. Bedford, they got that bye in round 1, but beating St Paul's School Barnes. And then that result against Camford, that was far more one-sided than really I think any of us expected. And then, well, that rerun of the final that we've just watched the highlights of, that gripping last, well, 6 or 7 minutes really, almost over time, where they managed to squeak past Epsom College.
Oh, an absolutely fantastic semi-final. It's what Cups are all about. You're hoping for those semi-final tense games. Well, as a coach, you're not, but as a spectator, a neutral, it's great to see that. Superb win. The win against St Paul's, again, very, very good school, St Paul's. And so you must take them lightly. And as you say, I don't think anyone thought that they would beat Camford by that amount. Camford had a good year this year. So I think, rightly, we've probably got the 2 best teams in the competition here in the final, which is what you want. They play in a different style. Bedford always throw the ball around. They play a 15-man game. Their forwards can always handle, so I expect them to throw the ball around. And most of their backs played last year as well, so they'll have that experience of a final. Tonbridge, always well organised. The forwards are superbly drilled and will probably look to play a tighter game today than Bedford. So but I still think we're in for a thriller.
Well, the fans are certainly up for it. Tonbridge School were in a little earlier, and they brought about top 3 year groups. There's about 500 of them in, we understand. And, well, we can now see, we were waiting for Bedford to arrive, and they are now arriving in their droves. So we're going to have some interesting battles in the stands. Figuratively speaking, of course, it's a rugby game after all in terms of them cheering on their schools, but 2 men who will be cheering on from the sidelines where all their hard work is done up until now are, of course, James Hinkins and Chris Morgan from both of the schools. Let's hear how the coaches are feeling ahead of kickoff. Well, Chris Morgan of Tonbridge, how are the boys feeling ahead of what must be a very exciting occasion for you guys?
I think they're absolutely buzzing, yeah. It's a great opportunity to play at the home of the European champions. Going to be a big crowd, hopefully. So, yeah, really unique opportunity for these guys, and probably as close to being a professional rugby player as some of them might get.
Now, yourself and Graham Gales are both in charge of the coaching duties of the side. What have been the main messages that you've had to get into them ahead of this occasion? Because you want to make sure, I imagine, that the sense of occasion doesn't get the better of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think probably that'll have quite a telling impact on the result today. Who handles the occasion the best? I think at moments like this, I think your average Saturday game, it's about revving the boys up, trying to make sure they're fully focused. I think at opportunities like this, I think it's about taking pressure off the boys and trying to enable them to do what they do week in, week out on a what is a big occasion for them like this.
Yeah, Bedford had to push pretty hard to get past Epsom to get to this stage. What confidence do you take from the win against Oakham?
Yeah, hugely. I think we controlled that game really well. I think, as I alluded to in our interview at the end of the match, I think totally different conditions here. The Oakham was quite attritional and very wet. We're fortunate to have an artificial surface here, so hopefully it'll be a bit more free-flowing than that game, and we'll probably have to adapt and play a slightly different brand.
And you mentioned the support, 500 I understand or so coming down from the school, the top 3 year groups. So that'll put a bit of confidence behind the team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's proved very popular, our cup run, amongst the schoolboys, because essentially they've got a day off school. Probably less popular with our senior management, but hopefully a great opportunity to galvanise the school and the old boy network.
We wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you ever so much.
And I'm delighted to be joined by James Hinkins, who's in charge of Bedford School. And James, excitement must be the word of the day for your boys as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously they're incredibly excited. It's been quite an exciting week for them. A few other things happening outside the school as well. They've had a bit of a trip onto rugby tonight, some of them. So, yeah, it's been building, and actually probably been the hardest thing has been trying to keep a lid on it and just simmer it a bit. So, keep control of their anxiety levels coming into this game, because it's very easy to get over-aroused too early and sort of peak before the game. So that's been probably the biggest challenge, to be honest.
Yes, I imagine it is. The cameras then will be no problem for them if they've been on TV already once this week. That sounds like it was an interesting experience for them.
Yeah, it was good. It was an interesting experience, but it was more to do with nothing to do with their rugby. It was more to do with the fact that their charitable thing is Movember, and they put a huge amount of effort as a school into that, and it was obviously the end of Movember, and they went down, had a go at the smashometer, chucked a few balls through a Movember moustache on the show, and it was just another good experience for them, really.
Brilliant. So looking ahead to this game then, Tonbridge, of course, that result against Oakham got them through here, and you guys had that really big semi-final against Epsom. It was enthralling to watch, gripping right to the end, but Bedford's defence is potentially going to be another key element to today's game.
Yeah, I mean, well, hopefully not too much, because hopefully we'll be able to keep a bit more ball in hand this time. Like I said, I think the last time, that actually our defence has been pretty good, because we probably had too much practice at it this year. So actually one of the keys for us this game today is actually to try and keep the ball, keep possession, be patient with it. We know that they've got a good defence as well, and we are going to have to expect to work hard for those scores.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, as we said in the interviews there, excitement very much the word of the day, and as the stadium announcer Dave Rogers goes through the teams here in the stadium, you can hear each of the players being cheered by each of the sides. There is great anticipation from both of these schools ahead of this final. Tonbridge delighting in being at this stage. Let's ourselves then have a look through the teams, and we'll start with Tonbridge. They're unchanged, in fact, from the side that defeated Oakham in the semi-final. George Head continues the skippering duties from the front row. Their centre combination of Devaney and Sporforth, both men who've played in the Roslyn Park School Sevens. The team in full then, Mott, Dainton and Head up front. Likiadopoulos and Sinclair in the second row. Sinclair, of course, who has been a fly half in his time. You may see him doing some kicking duties. Wildblood, Taylor and Petrie are the back row, and then at half-backs, Charlie Mullins and David Wilkinson. On the wings, Ollie Ward and Harry Rees. Those centres, as I mentioned, Devani and Sporforth, with Suano Sarawiwa at the back, and sharing the coaching duties, it's Christopher Morgan and Graham Gales. On to Bedford. Well, several of the side have been here before, of course, defending champions as they are. Influential centre Fraser Dingwall captains the side, having started at full-back here last year. He's alongside Fraser Strachan, who played 12 in that final. 2 out of the 3 starting front rowers also started a year ago. The lineup as follows: Kane and Kerr, who started, then Seward. Second row, Ted Hicks and Joe Rogers. In the back row, Ollie Hind, and then Connor Finch and Ryan Hussey, both of whom are involved in, well, Connor Finch and Ryan Hussey both involved in the Saints Academy. And at half-back, Jack Dalton, fly half Edward Johnson, and then the wings, Faisal Olabuye and Ben Kite. Those centres, Dingwall and Strachan, and Alfie Orchard, who will look to try and run from the back. And the coach we spoke to just a moment ago is James Hinkins. Looking at the replacements then, and these boys will look to try and influence things when they get on. Prideaux, Hockley Smith, Harvey, Hind, Collins, Petrozzi and Pullen for Tonbridge, and for Bedford, Peter Jameson, Entwistle, Harry Doniger, Matthew Fordham, Jason van der Vault, William Bowes and Elliot Wingfield. Will Bowes, who was on the bench in last year's final, and he'll be looking to make an impact from that position once again. So we're just a couple of minutes now from kick-off, and you can see there's the little drum just in your shot there, and they are getting very excited now. Sam Howard alongside me. In your experience of coaching schoolboy rugby, we heard it mentioned from both coaches in those interviews, it's about managing the adrenaline levels almost at this stage, isn't it?
Very much so. You've just got to try and treat it as just like any normal game. It's very difficult. Also, all week, everyone at school will be talking about it. Parents, friends will be wishing them well. But you've got to treat it like you do week in, week out. It's just another game of rugby. As soon as you try and hype it up too much, that's when you start to make errors. The boys become nervous. So you just try and keep it as low-key, as relaxed as you can, which is difficult because as a coach, you're excited to be playing here. Most of the school are here watching. It's a great occasion.
Yeah, we're talking about the levels of the boys. What about the adrenaline levels of the coaches themselves? Are they overplaying their ice-cool exterior?
No, they're both pretty calm customers, these coaches. James Hinkins, fair play, is his first year in charge of the first team at Bedford. He's done a great job to get them back here to the Allianz. And Morgs has been at Tonbridge for a good few years now, and he's a pretty calm customer. So, yeah, they'll be doing their best to keep the boys relaxed. And it's important as a coach, you look relaxed and come across to the players that it's just another game.
Well, you can keep in touch with us here with the hashtag NatWest Champions Trophy. Part of the NatWest Schools Cup, of course. Champions Trophy, this exclusive competition that takes place at the end of this autumn term for those schools that play rugby just for this term rather than through the year. Bedford are the defending champions, and it's Bedford in the red who are running out. There's a calm walk from Tonbridge. They break into a stride now, but both of the teams coming out here at Allianz Park. We'd love to hear from you wherever you are watching. Just out of your shot in the corner, there are boys from off the bus from Bedford who are screaming up the stairs, ready to take their seats before this game starts. And the players aren't going to be allowed to get away with too much this afternoon, because the man in the middle is a pretty experienced customer. Refereed in the Aviva Premiership for a number of years, and he will be looking forward to this. It is, of course, Luke Pearce. Mentioned to me just ahead of kickoff that he will be looking to try and get these teams playing rugby. Doesn't want them stood around too long, partly because it's rather chilly here in North London, as I'm sure it is wherever you're watching. Tonbridge then go through the final squeeze. We are ready to get going. As with any game of rugby, Sam Howard, what happens at the kickoff, crucial.
Yeah, it's a cliche, but both will be looking to start the game well. I would have thought Tonbridge will be looking to play a little bit more territory-based game than Bedford do. Normally like to throw it around a little bit more. So, yeah, these first 5 minutes, you want to get into the game. Everyone wants to try and touch the ball, and away we go.
Well, Dingwall, with the restart, just settles back into his own half after making the kick. And it's sent downfield. That's a really good exit kick straight away from Tonbridge, but it's taken quickly. And it's back in for Dingwall and just couldn't quite be held by Dalton.
I think from the off, we see the two contrasting styles straight away. Tonbridge get the ball, great kick, but Bedford take a quick line out and they want to get going as soon as they can. Just a slight error there, otherwise they could have had a dangerous position there.
They do want to get going. Bedford do love to play the rugby. The atmosphere here is incredible, given that we've only got 1,000 or so people in here. But they are absolutely giving it everything, the Tonbridge fans currently. They are in possession. The boys in black and white. Starting to just try and crab around that side. The drive comes now down the near side. And it's in from Mullins. Gets it away. Mullins again, looking to go through Wilkinson. It's a decent carry from Declan Sinclair. Away from Mullins again. Good spell of possession initially from Tonbridge, but they've just knocked the ball on there. And I don't think Bedford are going to get the turnover on that. But some good phase play to begin with.
Yeah, again, what you come to expect from Tonbridge, a line-out drive that they always do very well, and then direct running from their big, strong forwards. Unfortunately, just a knock on there. Great to see that he's looking for the offload, keep the ball alive, but just a little bit low.
Yeah, Dylan Taylor just struggling to get that one off his bootstraps. There he is on the near side, Taylor. Played at number 8 against Hampton in our first live stream of the Champions Trophy coverage back in September. It was a gloriously sunny afternoon that day. Big shove comes on from Tonbridge then, while Bedford try and get the exit from this scrum. Ryan Hussey under all sorts of pressure, but he's a big man and he will deal with it, which he does. And it's away from Dalton, coming down on the halfway line. Olabuye. Tonbridge just still with possession when they're breaking through Taylor here, and he's looking to try and find the offload. Now the big tackle will come in, last line of defence. Struggling to get a quick ball there. Tackling round the corner, George Stewart, and that's brilliant strength from him. We've seen that in the competition so far. What a turnover of possession. Are they going to try and run this from under their own sticks? Well, a possible call whether he should have released that on the floor, but they want them to carry on playing. Now it goes forward. Stewart now with possession again. There's an advantage being played, and the referee will allow Ben Kite to kick that one downfield, and Kite is away and stepping back inside. Oh, this is a decent run. Offload just left a little bit to be desired from Sarawiwa. It's just a little rushed.
What a great couple of minutes of play there. Superb counter-attack from the Tonbridge forward. Good pick and go right on Bedford's line. But what a steal from George Seward on his line, but then unfortunately coughs it back up to Tonbridge. And again, another good run from the fullback, which just went forward from the Bedford hand.
We saw Sarawiwa a moment before that, just trying to have another opportunity to run it back, showing himself to be pretty happy under the high ball a couple of times in the opening couple of minutes.
I think you're right though. I think Bedford may have got lucky just inside their 22 there. I think the fly half was trying to run it from deep. Fair play to him for having a go. We said that they will probably do that. I think that he was held there. I think he was held, and they could have. The referee was a little bit lenient there. But as you said, he wants to let the game go, which I suppose is much better than seeing penalties every minute given away.
Well, indeed. Certainly in that area of the field, it's not going to be overly crucial, is it, to give away that penalty? There's the advantage was with the side to try and get going, and if they'd have coughed up possession, well, perhaps we might have a different opinion. But certainly, play continued. Sarawiwa, his father played at the school, as have both of his sons. He's in the lower six, the fullback. He'll be happy with his first couple of touches. It's all about building confidence in these big games.
Be interesting to see what Tonbridge do from this scrum. Great position. It's where you want an early scrum, right in the middle of the pitch. They put Sarawiwa on that left side, and they've got a 2-on-1 as it stood at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see which way Tonbridge go here. Great position.
Well, it's a penalty to Tonbridge. We're not going to get the attack from the scrum. And finger is pointed at Colston Kane, one of the men who started the final.
The curse of the Premiership has come to schoolboy rugby. Penalty, scrum.
Penalty from the scrum, indeed. Probably just outside the range of Tonbridge to have had a go at the sticks. Be that Wilkinson or Declan Sinclair playing in the second row, the former fly half who may be called upon for kicking duties.
Yeah,
Sam, you were watching him in the warm-up.
Yeah, I thought he might have a go there. He was banging them over from the halfway line in the warm-up, so I thought he may step up there. But as we said, their line-out drive is excellent. I'd be very surprised if we don't see them driving this ball.
Don't forget, 35-minute halves we play in the Champions Trophy. Down for Mullins. They've got the forward runners ready to punch it up, and they do that effectively. Mullins just a little slower for him that time. Tried to play the reverse ball back inside. It wasn't touched, so it didn't go forward. Ed Johnson just trying to stop that ball coming back. Mullins arrives eventually. Wilkinson, little shorter ball there for Ward. The supporters are cheering everything. Mullins. Just a stray boot or two denying him really quick ball, but then he goes again, and now there's chance of the offload. Likiadopoulos, oh, he's still going. He's tall. Needed a bit more strength there. Just might have caught one of his legs as the bodies came down there. I was just watching that. I hope that he hasn't really injured himself, but he certainly looks in some discomfort. We'll just see, looking at the replay. Linking through was Wildblood. And here's Likiadopoulos. And then there's a few on top of him. And then they just roll over. So let's hope that there's nothing too serious for him there.
He's up on his feet, which is great to see. Yeah, you don't want to see boys coming off, especially this early in the game. He'd done really well as well to stay in field, but then eventually Bedford did well to bundle him into touch.
Played in the semi-final. We haven't seen him before that. He wasn't playing in the game against Hampton on our live stream on englandrugby.com.
He seems in a fair bit of discomfort, to be fair to him. He's hobbling around. Obviously, he doesn't want to go off, but it will be interesting to see if the Tonbridge coaches make a decision to take him off, but it doesn't look like if any of their subs are warming up.
High pressure on the Bedford scrum here. Well, it's a penalty to the boys in red, and it allows the Bedford fans in the stand to get their first real cheer on.
As a coach, you'd be really frustrated from giving a penalty away at scrum time in schoolboy level. The most you can push is 1.5 meters anyway. So if you are going backwards, just take the 1.5 meters. The ref tells you to stop, and then you get the ball anyway. So we've had 2 scrums, 2 penalties. Hopefully we don't see this through the rest of the game, because the scrummage is different at schoolboy than it is at the Premiership. So either both teams need to calm down, or the ref just needs to understand what's going on at schoolboy level at scrum time.
Kerr goes to Ollie Hind in the middle. It's a good climb from the man who came off the bench in the final last year. Gets the chance to start this time around. Now it's Sarawiwa once more with a bit of ground in front of him. The red wall arrives, but he's going to look for the offload and gets the first pass away. Good follow-up tackle from Bedford on Sporforth. Now then, turnover is good from Bedford. They've done well. Olabuye goes in to play scrum half, gets it up for Strachan. Dalton. Dingwall in at first receiver, wants to just try and put the pressure on by squeezing Tonbridge into the corner, but didn't quite get enough on it, and so it now comes down for Alfie Orchard. He's going to try and chip it into that corner in a similar fashion, and Well, it's just stayed in field, and Orchard putting plenty of pressure on, and in fact they forced Tonbridge to take the ball into touch, and it's worked out to be a brilliant platform for Bedford. Great work from the fullback Orchard.
That's outstanding play from Bedford. It seems as if they're a little bit more organised when it comes to sort of a bit of kick tennis. They've nearly always got 3 players back, whereas Tonbridge kicked the ball away then. No one at home. Superb kick from the Bedford fullback there. I think Bedford have obviously done their homework on Tonbridge. They've got 4 men back all the time ready for the kick. Tonbridge have got to spot that and actually use the space that's out wide. Bedford are giving them the outside. I think they've got to try and look to spread the ball a little bit rather than kicking to the Bedford players that are waiting at the back.
Ted Hicks collects it from the line out, and now they're looking to get this driving maul going. And they're still going. Oh, they might go all the way here. Might just have been held up on the line. No, referee Pearce says the try's been scored, and it must be Ted Hicks at the bottom of it. And Bedford first on the score sheet from the catch and drive, and what an effective rolling maul it proved to be.
Absolutely outstanding catch and drive there from Bedford. Superb execution. Once that ball's at the back there, it's so difficult to stop legally. They do well to stay bound, doesn't come off, and shows great strength to get it down there. Really good organisation from Bedford there.
I think it's Connor Finch who's actually the man who's got it down. Yeah, just joining on the back there. So solid work from the open side flanker, getting himself in the right position to finish the move. And the conversion is good. Dingwall adds the extras. Tonbridge 0, Bedford 7 after 10 minutes of this 2016 NatWest Champions Trophy final.
That all came about from a turnover. The Bedford are really competing hard at the breakdown, looking to slow the ball down or steal it at every occasion. Tonbridge have got to make sure they get numbers to the breakdown, look after the ball, and the ball carrier's got to work a little bit harder on the floor to get the ball back to them, because Bedford are excellent over the ball and trying to steal that ball.
They're a very powerful side. You certainly can conform to that old stereotype of, you know, when you turn up to play a school, you look at the size of the boys getting off the bus, and Bedford are a school that you look at, they're big, aren't they? They're physical players.
Yeah, they look in shape. They're not monsters, but you can tell they're all in the gym fairly regularly. They look at really good condition, yeah.
High kick is well fielded. Good work from Sinclair. Penalty coming, but there was a bit of a shoulder charge on the Bedford man as he ran in, and it looks to me like Likiadopoulos is still got a bit of an issue there. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to carry on. Second row is very much the engine room in that forward play, and well, if you're running on 1.5, that's not going to be ideal.
I think here comes the big hit.
Yeah, Ryan Hussey coming in. A little bit too much of a shoulder charge in that one.
The Bedford fans enjoyed it though.
They certainly did. Ball kicked into the 22 then. Tonbridge to try and take advantage from this penalty situation with the line out. They're going to the back through Taylor, but it's loose. Well picked up from Wilkinson. Needed to tidy that up. And then a little pick and go. Could this work quite fortuitously? In the end anyway. It's a brilliant man and ball hit from Joe Rogers. Absolutely superb. Enjoying starting the final this year after he was on the bench last time round. Wilkinson again, he's done a couple of decent carries there for his side, just when it was needed. Sporforth, little juggle. Tackle from Rogers, didn't stick that time. Now then, Tonbridge start to flood the left-hand side. They've got more options there if they want to use it. They're still picking and going. Dylan Taylor once again. They're really choosing to do the short work.
They have got acres of space on the left.
On this 3G pitch, are they going to be able to ship it? Yes, they are. And the try is scored through Ollie Ward. Brilliant work from Tonbridge, sucking in that Bedford defence. And crucially, they reply having just conceded. And that very much keeps this final alive.
Yeah, as you say, once you've conceded, it's so important to get back on the score sheet. They recognise they've got the overlap. Nice missed move. The winger's not going to finish from there. Really nice try. They sucked in the Bedford defenders. I thought they hadn't recognised the fact that they had the space out wide. They had it for a long time.
Yeah, I wondered if we were going to see a lot of picking and going there while we had a sort of 5-on-3 out wide.
Yeah, which happened last year with Epsom in the final. They had a lot of overlaps, didn't use it. Bedford do defend quite narrow. Trust their defence, but that's a great try.
Conversion effort. Well, the cheer goes up, as do the flags.
What an incredible kick. Right from the touchline. Game on.
Declan Sinclair. We've got a trumpeter in the crowd as well. Amazing. So
Tonbridge and Bedford always produce good musicians as well.
Oh, there we go. It was Wilkinson with the conversion, my apologies. So we are all square. What a start we've had. Kerr with the line, away now from Dalton. Cutting back in field, but a little bit of running into his own man. Colin Finch couldn't get going.
Yeah, just a little bit sloppy there from Bedford. I know they are still young, they're schoolboys, but the amount of training that they would have done from the whole pre-season as well, the coach won't be happy with that. It's a set play, great ball off the line out. Again, now a really good position from Tonbridge, right in the middle of the pitch. Can we get a ball out of the scrum?
Little semi-crossfield kick effort, but it's inaccurate from Tonbridge. Not quite sure what the aim was there.
Yeah, again, Tonbridge coach should be upset with that. To be fair, there was space back there. The Bedford defenders were all up flat. Probably maybe the right idea, just the execution let him down.
Given Bedford possession. Still inside their own half. Kerr. Ball a little bit loose from the top. Comes back to the hooker who ends up tidying it up. Johnson is well put down. Dalton. Plenty of attention from Tonbridge as he tried to come around the fringes there. George Seward. Then another little pick. Penalty advantage being played to Bedford. Not releasing the man on the floor is the call from referee Pearce.
It's a shame that ill discipline from Tonbridge there. Superb defence. There was a massive hit that had gone in there. They're coming up with good line speed. Bedford weren't really going anywhere. Again, a bit of a sloppy penalty to give away. They were defensively set. They couldn't have really been hurt. They've got to not give this Bedford line-out easy ball, because we've seen what they can do with that line-out drive.
It was also a symbol of really what we've seen from Bedford a lot in the competition is that defensive line speed, and it's an interesting clash of two teams here, given that Tonbridge are now employing that with such vigour in this final so far.
Yeah, both teams really getting off the line, not giving the attack any time.
Well, the set piece for Bedford isn't running too efficiently at the minute. They've lost a couple. It's not been too tidy. Ollie Wildblood able to tidy that one up for Tonbridge and give them possession from the Bedford throw.
Everyone away.
Dingwall's got to get himself out of that. Mullins. Chip over the top. Orchard is well underneath it. Olabuye's offering the run around the corner. Orchard. Well, he's then created a little bit of room for Dalton down the near side, but they're going to have to set up the platform and go again.
Hold.
There'll be a carry.
Okay. Here.
Dalton again. Finch gets low. It's a really good tackle from Wilkinson. He's maybe taken a bit of a knock to the head in the process. Bedford get wide though. This is good play from them, although they may just be into touch. And it's just getting overcooked a little bit here. Officials are there, trying to make sure that things stay nice and calm, but well, you can see the supporters getting well into this final.
Yeah, first time the Bedford backs have really got going out wide. They look sharp, just a slight forward pass at the end, but I think that's the way they've got to play. They've got to use their backs. A lot of them played in the final last year.
What's that all about? No.
And one of the guys just been calmed down.
Fraser Strachan came in from a fair distance to upset the party over there, so referee Pearce saying we'll have none of that.
I dealt with that, okay, so nothing after. Thanks. Stretch. Bind. Set.
Did really well to get to Ben Kite.
Hold.
The ball had just gone forward on its way there. Tonbridge. Oh, that's a really nice decoy run, and then little ball inside for Devaney.
Of his.
Tonbridge getting a little bit more go forward when they've got the ball so far in this game.
8 is legal.
Needed a bit more help in there.
Again, Bedford at the breakdown, slowing it down, then getting the turnover. Really good work at the breakdown from the Bedford side, but a lovely break from the set piece. Really good move, direct over the gain line. Captain coming round off 9. But again, Bedford stealing that ball. As you said, Bedford need to win this line out. Likidopoulos has stolen the last couple from Tonbridge, and see why the coaches don't want him to go off. He's done really well in the last 2 line-outs. Bedford need to get a little bit more possession to get some control in this game.
Ball's in from Kurt. Comes down on the Bedford side, not the cleanest, but Ed Johnson will tidy it up, and then it nearly opened up for Dingwall. They've got a central position in the middle of the park here. Dingwall presents it for Dalton. Now they go to the right, through Finch. Hussey now stands up tall in the first tackle. Is brought down. Dalton, Johnson, players offering themselves. That time it was Rogers, still going. Good work from the second row. They go left again. Orchard offering himself. Johnson decides to have a go himself. So often just a distributor. It would be good to see more of that from Johnson from Bedford, perhaps. Strachan brought to the ground. It's away from Finch. Fancy's just getting that ball away nice and quickly. Colson Kane then with the carry, the Bedford prop. Oh, but it's a penalty to Tonbridge. Holding on to the ball, just getting himself a little bit isolated there, Kane. And referee Pearce right on the spot to reward the defence for having done a decent job. Let's just see it again. Here goes Kane. Taylor's in there as well, and it's an excellent body position from Blaise Mott. Look at that, just the sort of signal that a referee needs to see. And he earns his side the penalty.
Yeah, great work from the prop. As you said, showing the ref, hands clear, over the ball, really good steal.
Bedford, if the guy rolled away quicker over there, then you'd have had to release it a bit quicker.
Have to release the ball on the floor. That's the law of rugby union. And if another player comes in to get that ball, well, you've got to release it. And Blaise Mott showed he was in a perfectly legal position to try and wrestle it away.
Bedford.
Dainton.
Wait!
More accurate line from Tonbridge.
Line is now over, still a maul.
Line out is over, so the rest of the forwards can arrive.
One!
Now they're getting a real rumble on. Ball in one hand. As they try and break.
Collapsing the maul, 4.
They're going back for the penalty for the maul having been brought down.
Really good play from the Tonbridge forwards there. They good line out. Didn't really go anywhere for a while, but they showed good patience. They got set once they got going.
There you go.
Bedford, so difficult to stop a line-out drive once it's going. Really good patience from Tonbridge. He's got the penalty, and again now in a great position. to probably get another line-out drive going, I would have thought.
Well, we've seen that on offer from both sides. But like schoolboy rugby, all the way through to international level, these days that driving maul is so difficult to defend legally.
Yeah, obviously, whilst at Dulwich it was a huge weapon of ours, had nothing to do with me, it's the Simon Thomas, the forwards coach. But yeah, we got so many tries from a good line-out drive. As you say, it's very, very difficult to stop legally.
So can they get going? Dainton, they decide they're going to throw it out. Sinclair in through Wilkinson. Oh, but he's just lost it. And this could be a quick moment of turnaround. They get it into Ben Kite. Bedford winger just stepping. Can they get a quick ball? They've got a bit more width here if they could get it out there, and they are going to get it there. In the hands of Seward. Decides to go route one through the first tackle, and why not at the size of him?
He's a big unit.
He is. Breaking all of the school strengths records, I'm told, as well, George Seward. He's a strong young man. Taylor looking to commando roll his way through the tackles. Now they try and find a bit of room themselves. Sportforth, oh, and he's got the ball away. Is it going to be a second try for Ollie Ward? He's brought down by Dingwall, but they're just 5 metres out now. The release has happened. Could see the referee just keeping an eye on it. Good go forward here from Tonbridge. Sinclair with the carry that time. Ted Hicks gets himself over the ball though. And where we saw the turnover a couple of minutes ago from Blaise Mott, well, Joe Rogers is the man to do it this time, or Ted Hicks, sorry.
That is a lovely pass there to put the Tonbridge winger in space. I think Bedford would just say they've gone, they've taken the quick tap.
Well, Olabuye then down on the near side, just as we were watching that replay. Dalton trying to step through there was Rogers. Just knocked forward though.
Again, an indication of Bedford wanting to play. Is that because maybe they're not winning as much ball in the line out, so they're trying to keep the ball in field? But to go from your own line, great ambition.
Well, they've got decent yards out of it as well, haven't they? It's at least upfield where they would have got with a clearance kick anyway. The only difference now, of course, with the little knock-on, they have handed possession over to Tonbridge.
What both teams have done really well, both teams have managed to make breaks and get in behind, but the defensive team have got back, managed to slow the ball down, and eventually either stolen the ball or forced an error from the attacking team. Really, really good defensive play to get back and slow down good attacking ball.
It's in here somewhere.
Good attempt at the counter right there from Tonbridge. That's where it just goes forwards. Just not quite accurate from Rogers into the hands of Johnson.
So we had a line break from Tonbridge on the last scrum ball they had. They've got a good formation out there with the back line. Again, great attacking play for a backs coach. Hopefully they'll have a good move set up here.
Bind.
Mullins.
Set. Steady up, steady up. Lou said bind up. Hold on. Okay, there we are. Use it!
Ball is available for the scrum half, and he'll use it through Wilkinson. Sportforth acting as the dummy runner, but it hasn't worked out for them, and Dingwall has got hold of it. Got the big shout on the near side from Strachan, but what a brilliant last-ditch tackle bringing him down. Otherwise, I suspect Strachan might have been away. Now have they got numbers on the short side? Finch. Orchard is in there, but that's a really good turnover position from Tonbridge, and they get the penalty.
We deserve that.
Wow, another great example of what we were talking about earlier. Bedford make a great turnover, good break, but Tonbridge get back brilliantly to get that turnover, get the penalty. Probably a little bit of back chat. Can't get away with the referees in this game.
Holding, and then 15.
No, certainly not.
An outstanding tap tackle. I'm not sure what Tonbridge play, but I thought the Bedford centre was away.
Yeah, we all did.
Just clipped his heel.
Absolutely.
Just where you get
It's a real game of cat and mouse in this middle third at the minute. Certainly since the two tries have gone down. Each side putting some nice bits of play together, but then it's just not quite happening for them.
You know, neither team has put a concerted piece of pressure on the opposition. So that they do well, then they give the ball over. The other team does the same. No one's really kept territory for about 10 minutes or possession. It's just keep giving the ball back to the opposition.
Hold, back,
Loose
back.
again, Taylor with it.
Okay, Maul, don't jump. Don't
Tonbridge
jump,
getting some go
no.
forward now.
Okay, one's bound. Two, start again.
And they're still
On the
going.
outside, no.
Scrum half Mullins is waiting for the chance to help out and get that ball
Off feet
distributed to the
7.
backs. Oh, that's a nice little soft pass from David Wilkinson onto the next man. They go around the corner, looking left. Oh, but players, I think, going ahead of the ball there.
Come here, captain. Yeah, excuse me.
Referee Pearce is just going to have a little word.
Captain, listen. This is second penalty now. If you're taking that line in the
Not
net,
sure
you
what
can't
this
go
is
near the
for.
net. You fully
Must be
well know it.
too
You can't
aggressive
slip
rocking.
behind it. Be really careful.
Again, we
You don't
see
enter
the
minutes in
Tonbridge
field
line
or
out,
something.
really good drive.
Okay?
I'm not sure why they
Around
went
the
off the
neck.
top a couple of minutes ago.
Here we are.
Is it a neck roll?
I think it may be.
Yeah.
Certainly was signalling high around the neck.
There.
Yeah, there you go. He's got his arm just around the opposition in an illegal way.
Again, just as we said, Tonbridge get a good line-out drive. They get going forward in just around the 22 and then cough
Open
up
up.
a silly penalty again.
Tonbridge, nothing around the net, okay? Come on.
It's testament to the accuracy of the defence, though, that both of these sides are competing so readily in those areas. Whether it's the breakdown, forcing those turnovers, getting men in the right position. But Bedford, once again, their set piece is not working for them, and it's presenting a lot of opportunities for Tonbridge. The key will be whether they can take
Good
advantage
looking,
of them.
Much better. Much
They're
better.
getting going here. Ollie Hind is just down for Bedford. There's another suggestion of a high tackle there, potentially, on Drew Dainton. Now they go short side again. Ollie Ward once more dives into the ground that time. Mullins.
Away 12!
Big Bedford wall defence that time. Needed to be quick ball away. Sporforth bravely carries. Brought down by Rogers. They go short side again. There's only, well, 3 Bedford
away,
defenders out on the wide side of the pitch. On the open side, but they're still continuing to try and truck down that short side. Blaise Mott again. Then it's Wilkinson. Needed someone on his shoulder for the offload. He did well to sidestep his way through there. Now they go left again. Little juggle from the hooker. Dainton. Bedford defending with all their lives here. Mott, a little one-handed pickup. One of the players in the Quinn's Elite Player Programme. Next carrier is the skipper, George Head.
Tackle!
Grabs a couple of metres, but that could be turnover penalty time. And it is. It's well won by Rogers. That's how close Tonbridge got on that occasion. And Sam Howard, they've fallen foul again.
Yeah, again, great work at the breakdown from Bedford. Tonbridge being really direct, stole the line out again from Bedford. Bedford have got to sort their line out if they're going to get into this game, but they go on their own. That's the one thing I would say about Tonbridge. They're getting isolated, one runners at a time, and an excellent steal from the Bedford player there.
There you go.
Well, it is engrossing stuff from both of these sides. 7 points apiece as we're just a couple of minutes from half-time, according to our clock, which is our best estimation of the referee's watch. Clearance downfield. Sarawiwa takes the ball as it bounces up into his grasp. Now clears it right-footed. Alfie Orchard will cover. He gets there. Decent enough kick from Sarawiwa, clears his lines and makes a good 30 metres.
Yeah, really good play from the fullback. First few times he got the ball at the back, he ran, showed how dangerous he is with the ball in hand, but they're a really good kick, especially as the Bedford line-out isn't functioning that well. Keep the pressure on Bedford just outside their 22.
There you go.
I know Bedford's line-out isn't working too well. It needs to in this sort of area of the pitch. They play safe and go to the front through Ted Hicks. Might be a bit more of a decision for them to make, but it might have been wrestled away from them.
Bedford away! Bedford away!
Tunbridge have possession once more. They need to start turning this possession into points. Line-out was brilliantly wrestled away from the skipper Head. And it's just gone forward, though. Goes into touch, but it will be a scrum to Bedford before we get to that.
As you say, Tonbridge won the ball again, but they, as you say, you feel like they've got to turn this possession into some points, because Bedford aren't going to keep coughing the ball over to them time and time again. They're going to have some pressure on Tonbridge. Tonbridge need to get some points on. They've had a lot of ball, but they keep going on their own, getting isolated, and either getting turned over or giving a penalty away. They need to go in more numbers and look after the ball carrier.
That's the thing, I think, against the strength that we talked about from Bedford, they do need to send more numbers in, isn't it? It's 1 or 2 doesn't seem to be enough.
Yeah, and it's bizarre because the ball carriers are actually doing well. They're all going forward, they're getting over the gain line, but they're going on their own and they haven't got numbers with them.
Dalton decides to play the percentage rugby game that might be more beneficial to Bedford, certainly in the second 35 minutes of this match. Sarawiwa decides to put it high. Oh, and it's juggled, but it is taken by Ed Johnson. Did well at the second attempt. And was that touched on its way through from Dalton? It's a decent little box kick from the scrum half, taking play into the Tonbridge half. But referee Luke Pearce says that's all we will have from the first half, and it couldn't be tighter on the scoreboard. Tonbridge School 7, Bedford School 7, and we will have some replays for you to digest. What a first half we've had. Difficult to split them really at this stage.
Yeah, they've both done some good stuff, but they can't, as we said, keep any sort of real momentum or a sustained period of pressure on either team. They just keep 1 phase, 2 phase, and then lose the ball. I think Tonbridge, as we said, have got to send more numbers to look after the rucks. What is interesting is we've just seen there, once Tonbridge kick the ball, their backfield defence is poor. They all chase, they don't have anyone back. We saw actually where Bedford got the position for the try, and again from that kick, once Tonbridge kick the ball, they've got to have some men back, otherwise they're going to Bedford will just hurt them every time that they kick the ball away.
Well, here are some of the moments that we've enjoyed so far. And this was the first try of the game, scored by Connor Finch, who got himself to the back of that rolling maul, and it proved to be effective.
Yeah, ironic really, one of the few line-outs they've actually won, and they go over from 25 metres out, so really, really well organised maul. As we said, it's almost impossible to stop that legally once it gets going. Big moment for that young man.
Luke Pearce getting himself in just the right position to see that ball go down. She did just under there.
It's funny, isn't it, with 19 laws, because the players want to play scrum.
You mentioned Luke Pearce. I think he's reffed the game well. I think if I was one of the Tonbridge coaches, mate, like Bedford at the breakdown have got the hands all over the ball, but sometimes they're going beyond the ball and just trying to slow the ball down. He hasn't penalised them once for that, and I think that the Tonbridge captain may want to have a word with him, just say, are they going for the ball or are they actually just slowing it down?
Well, here's the Tonbridge try that was scored just a couple of minutes later. And well, Sam Howard in commentary alongside me, we both thought that they might not see the opportunity of the width that they had picking and going, but having drawn in that Bedford defence, well, we can give them the credit where it's due. They knew it was there, they knew that overlap was on, and they sent Ollie Ward into the corner. It was well worked, and the little miss pass at the end from Ben Devaney making sure.
Yeah, really good execution. All of the passes were put in front, all of them were on the money, players running onto the ball, giving the winger almost just a simple run in there. I think that just demonstrates the skills of the players on show out here. I think people that are new to watching schoolboy rugby, the quality of the players, not just their skills, but their game understanding, their organisation, in defence, in kicking, is absolutely fantastic now. The coaches do a really good job. The boys buy into it. They put in a lot of time and effort whilst doing their schoolwork. So I think hopefully if people are watching this and are new to schoolboy rugby, they're enjoying it. Maybe a few too many errors in the game, which both coaches will try and stamp out here, but I think we're in for another great second half. And
I remember school rugby.
Bedford were probably most people's favourites, but at the moment, Tonbridge are probably enjoying more territory and more possession, but they've got to get some points on the board, because I think if the Bedford backs get given a little bit of ball, they can open up, but they just haven't really had enough ball at the moment because the Bedford line-out isn't functioning.
Yeah, there's a bit of a physical disparity, I'd say, between the likes of Dingwall and Strachan in the Bedford centres compared to Tonbridge, but they just haven't had enough ball. We thought for a moment that Strachan might have been away on the one little turnover that we saw, but the tap tackle stopped him in that first half. Just to mention as well, of course, at Tonbridge's Declan Sinclair, Ben Devaney and Adam Petrie all came from Sevenoaks Prep School, so a little nod to them. Thank you to Michael Law for mentioning that. Hashtag NatWest Champions Trophy if you would like to get in touch with us. Emma Garrett, she says, awesome try after Bedford scored that opener. So do let us know where you're watching. If you're watching, it would be great to hear from you. So just about ready to get underway for the second half. Now then, just out of your shot down to the left, it might be that Nico Likiadopoulos is actually being replaced for the second half. Given the point he took that knock in the first half was pretty much midway through, he's done well to play the rest of the first half. Oh,
I think he's been one of Tonbridge's best players as well. He's stolen a lot of line-out ball, he's carried well, and as you say, I think he got knocked on about 5 minutes, and he's been hobbling around. So this may have a big impact on Tonbridge because they've done really well in the line-out. Bedford probably won't be sorry to see him going off the pitch.
My name's Nick Heath. Alongside me, Sam Howard, as we get ready for the second half to get underway. Tonbridge playing from right to left in the black and white stripes, and Bedford looking to defend their title from a year ago here in the third year of the Champions Trophy. We'll do our best to keep up to date with the changes as and when they start to happen in this second half. Of course, we do know one of them in terms of Likiadopoulos leaving the field. Oh, Sinclair tiptoeing down the whitewash brilliantly from Tonbridge second row. Partner of Likiadopoulos in that engine room. Wilkinson. Oh, there was just a bit of inaccuracy at the base there. Luke Pearce right on the spot.
It's a nice position to be in, have a second row that's used to being playing at fly half, so from kickoffs you can have him at the back there, he takes that, as you say, nice run back, but again, just another little bit of inaccuracy at breakdown, gives the ball back to Bedford.
Crouch!
Ball's at the back with Bedford. Little juggle from Johnson and then from Orchard.
Advantage! Advantage! Playing it!
Playing advantage to Tonbridge if they get the turnover, but it's not forthcoming. So we will come back.
I just wonder whether it is freezing out there now, and I just wonder whether that's having a little impact. We've seen a lot of balls go down that you wouldn't expect from most of these players out there, so maybe that's having an impact. But again, what a position Tonbridge are in here. Okay, nice big blindside there. They could come this way with their whole back line, which it looks as if they're doing. They've brought their right winger across.
It is interesting to watch it, seeing Bedford, seeing them in those moments look a little nervy, and we've not seen a lot of them in the competition looking like that. Certainly against Epsom it was a much tighter affair, but they certainly look more assured as Tonbridge come forward now, and it's Sporforth who's looking to try and go through the gap between the centres.
Good ruck in, much better.
And then Sarawiwa.
Move! 14, right.
Trozier is the scrum half who's on for Tonbridge.
Is it available?
It's going to be Bedford ball. But yeah, as I was saying, we've just seen moments of Bedford looking a little nervy, and they've often looked in control even when the score's been tight in other games, and I just wonder whether there's a little bit of the unknown with Tonbridge. They psychologically had that edge over Epsom in that semi-final after what happened a year ago. So it is interesting to see how they will deal with the mental side of trying to defend the title.
Yeah, and I think finals are different. Okay, they are young boys. It's a big occasion for them. So You can make errors, but I think trucking the big fella up straight from the scrum.
Strachan happy to play that role, like an extra back rower anyway. Dalton with the kick. Wilkinson, oh, he just couldn't get hold of it, and it's worked out very well for Bedford. I've been mighty pleased with that position.
Yeah, great kick. It's interesting, actually, whether it's because Tonbridge know the size of the Bedford centres, they're positioning their winger, their fly half, on the left wing at scrum time. They're putting their big left winger in at 10, and the fly half is dropping, and the scrum half for Bedford has spotted that and has kicked it there quite a few times, putting the fly half under pressure there.
Builds it from Dainton.
Ball. Okay.
Then a little break at the back. Oh, and it's a lovely show and go. Adam Petrie, what a brilliant run from the Tonbridge number 8, right into the heart of Bedford's defence in the 22. We've got to clear them out. Petrozzi has got options left. It's Wilkinson. Wants to send Blaise Mott forward. He carries brilliantly.
Good steal.
Then there's a turnover. Not enough players in the ruck to secure ball from Tonbridge.
No,
Bedford spot the fact that Sarawiwa is a little out of position, and Sarawiwa just looking a little tired as he comes to take that. The excitement and the adrenaline levels could play a part here. After 35 minutes of rugby, once the adrenaline from the start of the game has worn off, well, could have an effect on things. Tonbridge just pulled into touch, but, well, within 20 seconds there, we saw a real example of what Sam Howard and I were talking about in Tonbridge sending all their men forward. Now then, little chip through. Olabuye sent after this. Sarawiwa with plenty of work to do. Clearance kick is not too bad in the circumstances.
Two things we talked about at half-time absolutely highlighted there. Tonbridge, great break, getting behind them, but almost inexcusable. They've made the prop's made a good break. He's in behind the game line. He's on his own. And there's 5 Bedford players there. They get the turnover. Then Bedford recognise there's only one player at home. He's not in a great position. They kick it behind them, and now they're in a good position. Tonbridge have got to send numbers to the breakdown, and they've got to watch their backfield.
Hold. Okay.
Tonbridge then in danger of squandering the time and territory that have been on their side for large periods of this Champions Trophy final so far. But it's Bedford who are in control of it currently, and it's with Johnson. They look to come out the back through Dingwall, and then on to Strachan. Now Orchard joining the line, just turns inside Sporforth, who stayed with him. Now they go off to the left. Finch thought about the offload, was probably more sensible to hold on to it. It squirts out the back for Dalton, and then they try and come through Olabuye, who's putting the chase on. Oh my goodness, nobody got hold of the ball, and it's rolled into touch.
I'm not sure whether Sarawiwa is carrying an injury. The last 5 minutes he's looked completely out of position, whereas in the first half he was exactly where he should have been most of the time. He looked slow getting across there.
Nearly had his legs taken. Ankle broken there.
He doesn't look as if he's 100% fit.
He's certainly blowing, isn't he?
Yeah, he's knocked on by you.
What a great position for Bedford here now. Don't give a penalty away. Tonbridge have got to kick it out. They're not going anywhere.
Crouch.
You should end up with the line out.
Bind. Set. Steady it up.
They need to stay whiter than white here, Bedford, to take as much advantage of this as possible, not give the penalty away. Force Tonbridge into a tight exit.
Relax.
Sporforth. There it is. It's a good kick from the centre.
They've done really well there. I think that's just an example of what we talked about at half-time, a sort of, for want of a better word, the professionalism of top schoolboy rugby now. Eight's picked it up, set up a good position, given them the angle, and the fly half's taken them up to near halfway. Really good play from Tonbridge there.
All right, he's looking at me for that. Unless you're taller than me. Good contest, play on.
Johnson, Strachan. Good charge from the outside centre. Johnson again, he's got Orchard outside him. There is the fullback, decides to thread a little ball through. Makes Sarawiwa run again, and the ball stayed in field. Fullback's got some work to do.
Okay, hands away now, Bedford.
Does well to get the ball to ground, but now Bedford looking to try and counter. Sporforth. Clearance kick that time. That's more of what Bedford were after.
It definitely looks as if they've been told, Bedford, to turn Tonbridge, kick a little bit more than they did in the first half.
Lads, look at the gap.
They've put 2 or 3 now, nice little grubbers through and put the pressure on Tonbridge.
Just 2 seconds. Lads, if he's off the pitch, is it a change?
Looks as if the fly half has just... Is that the fly half that's walking off here?
There's Sarawiwa, who's still taking in the oxygen, and yeah, down near us. David Wilkinson has been forced to leave the field.
Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Waiting for a change.
Not sure what the situation is, but
Place, lads.
changes will be made. Bedford with a line out. Just to perhaps a sense of a momentum swing currently in this game. Can Bedford take advantage of it? Looking to try and maul this one from the line out. Told to use it. Johnson, Dingwall, little step off the left foot. Gets to ground, wasn't held. But now back in the hands, Dalton to Johnson. In off his right is Ben Kite. Sarawiwa, well, he's gone over the top, but he's also lost his footing, so he has to release the ball as much as he's gone for it there. Finch that time, Johnson, now they come out the back. Strachan, Dingwall, he's got Sporforth giving chase, good tackle from him. Then Kane, Strachan still going. Oh, and he's just bundled into touch. That's good last-ditch defence from Tonbridge as Bedford start knocking on the door.
Yeah, we've seen Dingwall and Strachan both carrying over the last 5 minutes, 2 or 3 times each. They're really coming into the game. They're both big, strong, powerful, quick centres that are getting over the gain line. And as you say, Bedford are now taking a little bit of a stranglehold on this game for the first time. Concerted pressure in and around the Tonbridge 22.
Don't jump in before, okay? Brace my arm. Is the fullback okay? Okay, we're great. Hold.
Dainton.
Wait!
Gets it in, Taylor the man who's lifted. Bedford will want to try and get a counter shove on this to put them under as much pressure as possible. Petrozzi. Well, it's Sinclair who clears it. Perhaps might have employed the use of his scrum half for the box kick. No denying the pressure that Tonbridge are under here.
Great tackle there, superb tackle, prop on prop in open space. Great play from both players.
Strachan just couldn't get that pass away over the top. Good double tackle on him. But now Bedford will have another go. Johnson, Finch, centre of the park.
Tonbridge away!
Options left and right. Options right are a little wider.
Get on with it. Don't
and it's loose. It's forced Bedford back around 10 yards, and then they've not been too accurate on the floor. And a few questioning looks to referee Pearce, but he's quite happy for play to continue. And Tonbridge with the turnover. Petrozzi sticks it high. Orchard gets well positioned under it, then puts his right boot to it. Sarawiwa passes inside for Sporforth. He might fancy a kick, but no, Sporforth is going to run it. Well brought down eventually by Ollie Hind. Then that ball has popped up on the wing. This could be an opportunity. It's a really good tackle from Kite. Needed to be, chopped his man down. There's a penalty advantage coming. Could we see a yellow card in this game? As Bedford got involved there, as Petrozzi tried to get that ball away.
Tackle!
Cynical slapped down. Still got the penalty advantage. Petrozzi, Sporforth.
Away 5!
In the middle. This is where they need the men to secure that ball. One of the players is down here. Is it Sinclair? Clutching his shoulder. And we are going to have a stop of play Well, decision now is referee Pearce going to bring us back for that penalty advantage, or did he believe that advantage was up?
I think he
that was
played
my
the
fault down there.
advantage.
I thought Fudge off his feet, but he had the ball beforehand, so I don't know.
What you see much better from Tonbridge, that last passage of play, sending numbers to the breakdown. Every time there were 2 or 3 there to clear the Bedford players out, get quick ball and keep the momentum. Much better from Tonbridge, and again, all coming from a turnover. I thought Bedford had 5 minutes of pressure and actually were really looking to turn the screw there. And fair play, as we said, the Bedford Tonbridge defence get the turnover, and then they kept the ball really well.
Sinclair looking in a little bit of discomfort. They've already lost David Wilkinson. Sinclair will be useful not only for what he's been doing in the gritty stuff up front, but also with the boot that he can offer. As we've mentioned, was the fly half for Kent. Moved into the second row. Talking to the coaches earlier, he's been one of their brightest players all season. Now he's wearing the number 5 on his back, and he's looking to continue.
And they've obviously lost Lycodopoulos as well, so they don't want to lose both their second rows, especially with their line-out going so well.
Crouch.
Petrozzi then
Bind.
waits to get this ball in, and the signal from the referee,
Steady up.
which he gets.
Hold.
Scrum is controlled. Oh, he gets the signal, but Bedford came creeping around the outside, but referee says we'll just reset the scrum.
Just hold the angle, okay?
Petrozzi's going to have to be wise to giving his number 8 that call to offload around the corner if Bedford are in the position to stop that.
Yeah, again, at schoolboy level, the scrum can only wheel 45 degrees as opposed to 90, so the ref's done the right call there to pull it up.
Set. Steady up, steady
Still
up.
great position for Tonbridge to be in.
Hold.
Release for Petrozzi now. Scrum half, that's a really good pass for Sportforth, who's got loads of space to run into. He had support on the right. If he could have got the rest of his back line away, Petrozzi will know it's there. Now they've got a bit more width on it, have they? Tonbridge
12.
rocking through. Referee Pearce happy enough with it, but then Petrozzi goes in and says, I'll have it back.
Okay, Bedford push.
Now they go round the right side, through Dainton.
Away.
They've got to be careful to hold on to the ball at these rucks here.
Okay,
Taylor gives support. Petrozzi, Sportforth offering himself at first receiver quite a lot now. Devaney brought down. Got to be careful he's not isolated here. There are hands on it, but it's there for the Tonbridge scrum half. Oh, but it's lost in the tackle. George Stewart, the man who will pick it up. And then the kick comes in.
I don't think I've ever seen as many turnovers in 2 minutes of play.
It's quite something, isn't it? Ben Kite with the tackle. Sinclair not running with quite the vigour he was a few minutes ago, possibly due to that injury he's picked up. Peter Jameson just on the floor, having taken a bit of a knock. Petrozzi coming down the short side.
Push, Bedford.
Scrum half has been busy since he's come on. Blaise Mott only knows one way, straight forward from the loose head prop. Sportforth starting to come into this game a little bit more, and that's a really good offload from him. On to Devaney. Brilliant work from the outside centre. Out of your picture, Connor Finch is down. And they're still going forward here, Tonbridge.
Bedford.
Are they going to be able to turn this pressure into points without losing the ball again? We've seen that so many times.
It's a tackle now, release.
They'll probably pick and go a couple more times, but they can
away.
certainly put it through the hands. Charlie Sportforth has really come alive for them.
Away.
Pearce with his eyes on it. Then there's a big carry. Oh, and it could be over. Try scored for Tonbridge, and it's the skipper, George Head.
Great try. No more than they deserve either. They carry the ball, they get numbers to the breakdown, and then their big, strong forwards bust over. Really good. But as you say, Sportforth has been outstanding in the last 5 minutes, really taken the game to Bedford, made a couple of lovely breaks, superb offload, and thoroughly deserved, to be fair, from Tonbridge.
Yes, absolutely. No arguments. A couple of Bedford bodies receiving attention as well. It's been an abrasive few minutes as Tonbridge have had possession in their 22. Second half comes alive.
George Head and Blaze Mott have really carried well for Tonbridge. Both props really getting through some carries, always getting over the game. And what's happening this second half, though, which is much better for Tonbridge, they've got players getting to them, clearing out the rucks, and then being able to use the ball from that. Here we go, John Eales-esque.
Indeed, Declan Sinclair. Second row with the conversion. How critical will it be? The flags are raised. They get maximum points. It's been a really fascinating battle up front all round, really, with the likes of Mott and Head from the Quins Academy, and then, well, on the other side you've got Will Kerr, George Stewart and Colston Kane, Saints Academy players. A lot of talent in the two front rows of this. So now, big questions being asked of Bedford. What can they do to come back into this one?
Off his feet.
It's a penalty.
Offside the man.
Penalty to the boys in red. This will be just the opportunity they wanted. What's the decision going to be? Do they go for the 3 points and start attacking that 7-point lead? Or do they take the opportunity to put it into the corner and go for the catch and drive? Big decision moment here. Sam Howard, what would you do?
Take the points.
There we go. No debate.
Take the points. A try, even if you get the conversion, you're still a draw. You're going to go for the line out. You're going to be kicking from wide if you even do get the score. Take the points now. If you get a score, you're winning the game.
There we go. That's the reasoned, calm thinking of the man alongside me, but it's proved to be the same thinking for Fraser Dingwall. Here's just another look at the try. George Head, such a powerful run. Nothing that Dingwall could do on that occasion to stop him. But now at the other end, a chance for Dingwall to add 3 points for Bedford School. And it's good to hear that for all the noise we've got from both sets of fans, they are quiet to respect the kicker. Wasn't the cleanest connection, but it's effective. And it's Bedford who get themselves up to 10 points.
Just the coach's absolute nightmare. You've got 7 points into the league. All you want to do, catch the kick-off, set it up, put it down the other end, make Bedford play. But a sloppy tap back, then a knock on, someone's offside, and you've almost gifted Bedford 3 points.
Tonbridge 14 then, Bedford School 10. 5 points to the boot of Dingwall so far. Oh, now he gets going with ball in hand. He's got himself stood up in that challenge, and Blaze Mott is determined to not let him go to ground. He does get there eventually. Johnson. Really big carry from Joe Rogers. They're trying to do it all in hand here, Bedford. Johnson, he does now kick it.
Yeah, you're in front.
Just one bounce and into touch. It's an excellent kick downfield. And well, it's been mentioned by you, Sam Howard, but that back three positioning isn't quite working for Tonbridge.
It's not been ideal. It is an excellent kick, got great distance, got over the wing's head, but again, they're playing the fly half. I'm not sure we haven't got another of the reserve fly half that's come on. They're putting him on the left wing, and they're playing Oliver Ward at 10 defensively. And Bedford have had a little bit of joy along this left-hand wing. But the Tonbridge line-out has been excellent so far.
Commentators curse there, Sam.
I knew that was going to happen.
It comes back on the Tonbridge side, though, through Adam Petrie. Petrie with that brilliant break just earlier on in this half. As long as Tonbridge have the ball, they won't worry too much. There's Mott. He's taking 3 of them with him. It's a brilliant carry from Blaze Mott.
8. That's good.
Mott decides to go for the box kick.
Nope.
Alfie Orchard in his 22, did not for the mark, decides to just then send it downfield, get some good distance on it. Sporforth, he's Got Sarawuwa with him, but Sportford's going to put that ball up.
There you go. Now
Petrozzi was in front of him in
Come
an
on,
offside
tackle,
position,
mate.
but referee Pearce stops him in his tracks as Ryan Hussey. Haven't seen too much of Hussey on his own
Okay,
carrying
wait,
so far for
Tonbridge.
Bedford, and he is a main player for the side.
Relax, relax, relax.
Dingwall just got through the tackle. His feet just
Ball
gave
out,
way,
play
really.
on. Line out, red ball.
And it's gone into touch.
Let me see.
Again, just an example, the scrum half's kicked that. It wasn't a bad kick, he's put the Bedford
Go on, 5.
right the way back into his 5-metre line. But again, there's no one at home. Bedford have managed to kick it, the ball's bounced, and then a poor kick from Sportforth, who's actually had a great game so far.
Bedford now really need to look at their kick chase, don't they? Because if the time is there with those kicks through, and there's no one really there from Tonbridge, well, some questions could be asked. Lots of Olabuye and Kite need to get on their skates. Here is Kite coming forward. Good follow-up tackle, but Kite took it well. Dalton.
Good tackle.
Kane. They go again. Johnson. Strachan to Dingwall. 13-12 that time. Olabuye need to get it back in field and come through Dingwall and Strachan. Two centres.
Tonbridge! No!
They've almost got a parental feel on this team. Just when it's not going right, the two centres come in, work together, settle things down, use their physical presence to look after things. Olabuye wants to take this one quickly to tap and go. I imagine the rest of his teammates would be pleased he didn't, because this is surely an opportunity for Bedford to take it down the touchline.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, again, this has again come from a Tonbridge kick, which wasn't a bad kick, with a good chase, with a good tackle, but then their defensive alignment from that kick is poor again, and Bedford get outside them. I think if Tonbridge are going to kick, they've got to get the ball off the pitch, because they're competing really well at the line-out. So don't kick the ball to this Bedford back three to let them catch it. If you're going to kick, get it off the pitch, because their kick chase and organisation has been poor. Their actual tackling is good, but their organisation from the kick has not been great. So if they are going to kick, they must kick it off or keep it in hand, because they're actually looking really good with the ball in hand.
Bedford with the line, but despite the jump from Ted Hicks, guess what? It's come down on the Tonbridge side once more.
Again, an example there, if they kick it off, because they're winning the most of the line-outs, whether it's their ball or Bedford's. And Bedford have got 4 back ready for this kick here. I dare say they're going to run it now.
Well, they've got room on the right if they could go, because Tonbridge are a little narrow here, but Olabuye perhaps needs to get the ball to do the work rather than running all himself. Little jink from Dingwall. Dalton through Johnson, then it's loose, but it's picked up by Strachan. And then Finch, Hussey. And now they feed out to that left side, but they're brought into touch, Bedford, and Tonbridge will happily watch Bedford go side to side if the go forward isn't strong enough.
Yeah, a little bit lateral from Bedford, but if you think Tonbridge have kicked the ball 2 minutes ago from that position, Bedford have got all the way back from running it again. They look dangerous on that counter-attack.
Hussey, perhaps one of the men that might have punched it up, you think?
Yeah, I'd like to see him carry a little bit. As you said, he hasn't really done. He's a big, strong boy. He needs to carry a little bit more and take this game by the scruff of the neck.
Tonbridge, Taylor with the jump.
Wait. Wait. Okay, line is over.
So they've got the ball here, Tonbridge, good line up, but there's 2 Bedford players back for that box kick. I'd actually look at, there's a lot of space here behind this right winger, and now they've gone. Great play.
Well, Petrozzi's got himself and now wants to try and stand up Alfie Orchard. Scrum half's done well, and the support gets there in time as well. Now they've got to make sure they don't get isolated. Good break from the scrum half. He's now back to his feet to serve his back line. Petrie. Penalty to Tonbridge. High tackle on the number 8.
Push your right arm.
Now I'd go for the corner if I was Tonbridge.
It's just by here.
It could put them out of sight, couldn't it? They've opted to go for the sticks, so this will be one for Sinclair.
I think the difference here between the Bedford opportunity, this is a much tougher kick. The Tonbridge line-out's been really, really good. If they get a try, they go 2 scores ahead. If he bangs this over, it's still a 7-point game.
Engrossing second half here at Allianz Park. Engrossing match all the way through so far. And Declan Sinclair for 3 points. Or it might just have enough. That's excellent from Sinclair.
Great kick from the big fella. Now they must take this kick off, secure it, and look after the ball. Super break from the scrum half Mullins there. From the Bedford were expecting the box kick. He saw that, made the break, got them into a brilliant position.
It's Petrozzi, yeah, the replacement scrum half. Yes, absolutely. It was a great break, and here he is on it once more.
He's been touched.
Dalton the man back that time. 9-on-9 tackle is made. They need someone to help distribute. Are they dragged into touch? No, the ball has stayed in field.
He's gone.
Rogers. Really good hit, wasn't it? From George Head that time. Tonbridge beginning to play like a team that believe. Are we going to have a new winner of the Champions Trophy? That kick has just gone a little too far to the right. The little midfield kicks have been working out pretty well for Bedford so far, but that one's just been overcooked with that little hint of desperation that's just creeping in now. 7 points behind rather than the 4 that they were behind a few minutes ago. They know that they need 2 scores now if they are to win this game, and time slowly eking away.
Yeah, time's against them now, 7 minutes to go, 7 points behind. Tonbridge defence has been excellent. A couple of massive hits we just saw there from a good kick chase, much better organisation in their chase. Petrozzi's been brilliant since he's come on at 9, kicked well, tackled well, and made a lovely break. Really sort of changed the dynamics of this Tonbridge team. I would have thought we've got another catch and drive going. Keep the pressure now. You just almost want to strangle Bedford in this game for this last 6 or 7 minutes.
Captain, let me know when you're ready. You're yeah, good to go.
So, Tonbridge with the line out then.
Come on, let's go.
Taylor knocks it down. Petrie does the job of tidying up. Petrozzi's there. Blaise Mott waits to receive it, which he does. Gets going. Bit of footwork from the prop.
Mott again carrying there. He's carried all day long. He's made tackles. And that's why he's been my man of the match in this game. The prop for Tonbridge, Mott, has been outstanding. Number 1. Now he's working. He's getting back. He's done everything in this game. He's made tackles, he's got turnovers, and he's carried brilliantly. Well played, number 1 for Tonbridge.
Bedford flying forwards. Ball comes crashing to the ground.
No hands! Whoa. Sorry, mate, my fault.
Dingwall. Orchard. Strachan, Olabuye, can he get into the corner? Oh, he's just ducked into touch. Desperate defence from Tonbridge, but they get their man.
Outstanding tackling out wide. Desperation last minute.
Yeah. His wrist is gone.
What a great tackle by Sarawia, and the captain and the prop head getting across there. Both these Tonbridge props have been outstanding in this game. Literally, one makes a tackle, then the next one. Both been outstanding.
Well, some players getting attention in the corner.
Absolutely. You've got about a couple left as well.
Through Dainton just getting some attention. Petruzzi just coming over to the near side. Just trying to advise the coaching staff that they may need a change.
Yes, I hope so. Oh yeah. It's a bit fun right now. It's 5 out anyway.
This is when you really need your cool heads, your leaders in your team to step up, take some organisation. The line out, as I said earlier, has been functioning brilliant. Tonbridge got to win this line out, clear it. Tonbridge fans all happy there.
You're right.
So Blazemore confirmed then to the crowd here as well that he is the NatWest Schools Cup man of the match. As selected alongside me by Sam Howard. It's been a great display from him.
Don't often give them to props.
Yep. 2 to go, Lewis. 2 minutes, Lewis. 2.5. Thank you. Time on.
Tonbridge bench watch on. A couple of players coming off with knocks. They may have a few walking wounded away from this one, but they put everything on the line. And this needs to be accurate from Tonbridge, which it is. Taylor, their go-to man so often.
2. Stay up, stay up, stay up.
As said before the game, you can always rely on the Tonbridge line-out. Year in, year out, he's absolutely brilliant. The hooker can't be underestimated. His arrows have been absolutely brilliant every time. I think they've only lost 1 line-out all game. It's the reason why they've won this game.
Certainly is. Sporforth.
At the moment, sorry.
Well, certainly, yeah. Olabouye. Don't want to speak too soon, of course. Orchard. Entwistle onto the team. It's loose. A little bit of footballing skill down on this near side. Taylor careers around the corner. He needs support, which now arrives. Dingwall's trying to get him into touch. Stop just short. Petruzzi, Sporforth has got to take it high. Might have to take the contact here, the outside centre. He's done well since he stepped into that first receiver channel, though, as well.
Sporforth's been outstanding. I think he's been the best back on the pitch, especially this second half. He's been really, really good. Carried well, especially since the fly half went off.
Good.
Really stepped up. And that's what you want as a coach. You want your players to step up and really be leaders.
7. Okay.
Little pick at close quarters from Tonbridge. They can afford to play a bit of keep ball.
This is what they've got to do. Eat the clock.
Referee Pearce.
But look after it.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you there. Pearce just having a little look at the watch as Orchard tries to set them going. Olabouye, haven't really seen him with much open ground in front of him, but now he's got some, and he cuts back in field. Good tackle, and he's passed it away to a Tonbridge player. Devaney kicks it upfield. It's still not gone out. Can't take your eyes off this. Bedford coming forward now. Popped up for Rogers.
Bedford have got numbers out here on the right. Tonbridge have got a spread.
They've only got 2 defensive. They can get it wide enough. Drift defence is beginning to come. Orchard, Finch, Dingwall straightens. Dingwall still going. Steps inside. Olabouye. There was a hand from Tonbridge. The referee says that he's playing a penalty. Dalton, Johnson. Suddenly Tonbridge looking on the ropes here if Bedford can find a way through. What a gripping end to this we're having. Finch. Tonbridge holding on here because time must nearly be up if it isn't already. Johnson. Rogers. Tackle from Sporforth. Sets it back. We come back for the penalty. Referee's keeping his cards in his pocket so far this game. Connor Finch asking him the question. They tap and go. There is no time for the line. Hicks with the run. No, but it's loose. And it's gone forward, and surely that is it now for Bedford. Petruzzi goes burrowing for it.
I think they've turned it over.
They might have turned it over, but I imagine the knock-on advantage will still stand.
Has he forgotten it?
It is coming back. Sporforth into touch, and the referee blows the final whistle. Tonbridge School are the new winners of the NatWest NatWest Schools Champions Trophy. Bedford distraught, as you would understand. It was their moment last year, and as they tried to defend it, they didn't have enough for Tonbridge, who, as Sam Howard alongside me has said all game, were just more accurate and allowed that set piece to really dominate.
Yep, Tonbridge deserved to win. Their line-out was outstanding. 2 chances, took them, very clinical there. Bedford just kept coughing up the ball too often, couldn't win any line-out, didn't really get their senses into the game enough. They had probably 5 minutes in the second half of pressure, coughed the ball up, and didn't, apart from that last break from the winger, didn't look like scoring in that second half.
Well, heartbreak for Bedford. Olabuye on the other side of the pitch, out of your picture, is down on his haunches. And we see the sporting camaraderie, the respect shown between the two sides. It was a great final.
It was excellent. It was probably both teams probably made more errors than they would have liked and expected to. Didn't really look after the ball enough. Tonbridge looked after the ball, won their set piece, scored 2 good clinical tries. And they'd be happy. All that matters is that their name is now on that Champions Trophy, and thoroughly deservedly.
The guy who's trying to go and get him.
So we will have some reaction for you very, very shortly. Do stay with us here on our live streaming coverage on England Rugby.
Are you getting this coming through?
Let us know what you think of the result wherever you're watching.
This is one.
Sorry, go on, Sam.
This is one of the great moments for the actual players when they get to go over. The crowd have supported them. Tonbridge supporters is not just on these occasions. Whenever you play Tonbridge at Tonbridge on a Saturday, load of their school are out there making a load of noise. They're all here now. Great moment for the crowd and the players to go over and sort of enjoy this together after all the hard work. It's not just in this game, pre-season, over the summer. I know Tonbridge went down to Biarritz for a pre-season little tour. All the work they've put in, this is why you do it all. Moments like this where you're with your mates, you're at Saracens, and they're gonna remember this day for the rest of their life. Well done to them. And
for many of these players, it's the start of a longer rugby career, of course.
Yeah, as you said, like both props are at the Harlequins Academy. I think they may have another couple at Saracens. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a couple of these players in the future playing for Premiership teams.
Well, Graham Gales and Chris Morgan, the coaching duo. Graham Gales coached there since 1991. He had 5 years with the Colts, then he's back with the first 15. And Chris Morgan, who is the head of sport there, he's also been responsible. And I understand he is down pitch side. And we can get some reaction from him with Dave Rogers.
Pitch side with Director of Sport and first 15 coach Chris Morgan. First of all, incredible, proper cup final. You must be very, very proud.
Yeah, absolutely heroic effort. I think that's probably as close to being a professional rugby player as I'm sure many of these guys will get. An amazing experience and really proud of them all.
Took a lot of patience as well. You had a lot of ball in the first half. The scores didn't necessarily go your way, but the boys kept their heads and, well, a brilliant recovery. What did you say to them at half-time?
I can't really remember, but something along the lines of I think we had 10 opportunities to score in the first half. They had 1 and they took it, so I think it was about being patient in the red zone, and they weren't committing many defenders, so I think the pick and go was a useful weapon.
And Blaise Mott got man of the match, but brilliant performances, 1 to 15 once again.
Yeah, you know, this is very much a team effort. The boys really played for each other, and today was about doing what they do week in, week out, and it's good to see Blaise achieve his potential on the big occasion.
And finally, because I can tell you want to get back over to the boys, incredible support from everyone who came down to watch today.
Yeah, absolutely amazing support. Really appreciated it. Some boys play rugby and have an interest. Other boys there probably would have preferred to be in lessons, but everybody got behind the team, and it really galvanised the school. A great occasion, and a big thank you to senior management for allowing the boys to miss the day.
Chris, thank you very much. Go and enjoy the rest of the evening. Brilliant achievement. Well done.
Thank you. Thanks very much. And a big shout out to Graham Gales, my co-coach. I heard that he was a good coach before the start of this season, but I didn't realise he was this good.
Well, a pretty happy afternoon for Chris Morgan and Graham Gales. Many congratulations to them. They will be absolutely delighted.
Graham Gales will be taking all of the credit for this. It's the first. He's been out of not coaching the first team for quite a long time. He's now back, and he's going to claim all the credit that they're now champions. Well done, Gales. It's all down to you.
Excellent. Well, there will be a presentation for the team as well. Of course, you can stay with our coverage this afternoon. We'll have a second live stream coming up soon on englandrugby.com for the Ace League final. So if you like your under-18 rugby, well, there'll be plenty more of that to come. Our officials just go up to have their moment of contribution acknowledged.
Yeah, he said he wanted an open game. I thought he reffed it well. He could maybe a little bit too open at times, but all the supporters, all the viewers, they want to see an open game, and that's exactly what we got.
And there were a couple of early penalties, but perhaps just to set the stall out so the players knew what to expect from him, and from that moment on there was a bit more flow to the game, wasn't there?
Yeah, because I think, there were only 2 kickable penalties in the whole game.
So Fraser Dingwall then leads Bedford up to collect their medals. Can we watch Bedford going up? Can we see Bedford going up? There'll be disappointment, no doubt, for the Bedford players. But there is no natural reason why these schools should back up titles. Obviously, the change of year groups, that sort of thing, on every year. And Bedford, well, they've done incredibly well. Several players from last year's final, of course, but new blood into the team as well. They can be very proud of their efforts in getting to another final.
Oh, yeah, a great achievement just to get to the final, especially the difficulty of this competition. As you say, at schoolboy level, it's so difficult to keep the momentum going. You get a crop coming through every year. You have different strengths, different weaknesses. You have to try and adapt to how you coach, to the team that you've got. The new coach coming in James, has done really well in getting them here. They should be very proud of their achievements. They're still young men. I dare say we will see the likes of Strachan and Dingwall in the future. They had 10 minutes of the second half. Both of them came into the game. I don't think they got enough ball to really do damage. If they got the ball in those 2 hands a bit more, I think it may have been a different result.
Yes, indeed. Well, as the last of the Bedford players receive their medals, Matthew Fordham just going through. Well, we can see that Tonbridge have started the ascent to receive their winners' medals.
I don't think I can go through commentary without commentating on what a great name, Ollie Wildblood. Absolutely great performance from that young man. He actually went to Dulwich Prep We tried to get him to the college, but his mum was insistent that he was going to be a boarder. He had a great game out there today, so good to see Ollie play so well.
It's the sort of name you want as a flanker as well, isn't it?
It's a great name. He's got 3 younger brothers as well, who are all great players as well, so maybe we'll see them here in the future.
The Wild Blood dynasty.
Yes, from Dulwich.
The Dulwich dynasty. We got it in. So here they are then. The winners come up to receive their medals. David Wilkinson leading them up. George Head will be in there as well. A key part of the battle up front, Head.
He captained the side really well today. Led by example, carried, tackled, made some good decisions, really good captain. You need those in those finals, especially the tight games. You need your captain to really set an example, which is exactly what he did. We saw Oliver Ward there just getting his medal. I think fair play to the Tonbridge coaches there. They'd obviously knew about the Bedford centres, so they put him into the midfield defensively every time. Maybe that's why we didn't see as much from the Bedford centres as well, because he did a really good job defensively. So good tactics from the Tonbridge coaches there, beefing up their midfield to counter-attack those Bedford big, strong centres.
There is Wild Blood just receiving his medal. It's the last few come through. Drew Dainton, Matteo Petrozzi.
He was excellent, wasn't he? When he went on, really sort of brought some pace, vigour to the game as a 9. Kicked well, tackled well, made a lovely break.
There was a sense of that Young's care for England sort of relationship between the two 9s that played, wasn't there? The likes of Mullins in that first half, and then Petrozzi to give it more zip in the second 35.
Yeah, and again, as a schoolboy, the subs make a difference. Especially in tight games, we saw how tired they were at the end there. You need subs that are going to come on and make an impact, and he most definitely did that. As did, like, they lost the second row, Likidopoulos as well, second row that came on. Tonbridge bench did a really good job for them out there. I think it's a nice judge. You see the Bedford boys still stood there. Okay, they're waiting. They're going to sort of celebrate Tonbridge there. They could have easily gone into the change room. I think it just shows the respect that there is in the game between the schools, and it happens in rugby.
So the crowd know what's coming next. The last medal has been presented, and George Head, the skipper, is receiving the trophy, and he brings it forward. The 2016 NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy winners are Tonbridge School. Took a decent effort throughout. We saw them in the opening round against Hampton. We saw them dispatch Oakham in the semi-finals. And then they turned up with a game plan today, and it was effective.
And it's not just this trophy they've been successful this year. I think they've only lost 1 game all season in their regular fixtures as well. Really good with the teams that they play week in, week out. To win this, only lose 1 game in the season. Real credit to the boys, the whole squad, and the coaches at the school. Well done, Tonbridge, thoroughly deserved.
So final score here of Tonbridge School 17, Bedford School 10. Let's just have a little look back at the moments that made the game. That was the Bedford try. These are some of the big hits that we saw throughout the game.
There were some big hits out there, wasn't there? Great defensive hits, super try.
Ollie Ward in the corner. Good draw from Sporforth again. Saw plenty of that from him. This was the moment Olabuye thought he might be in. Dingwall carrying. And then Strachan nearly in at the corner himself. Well supported by both schools as well as they leave Allianz Park.
Yeah, great support from both schools. Done in the right spirit, both making a low noise, always encouraging their teams rather than having a go at the opposition. I think if you think back through the game and watch this through, there was probably 4 or 5 try-saving tackles Tonbridge made. Twice in the corner, the tap tackle in the first half, that little kick when it went through, and it just shows what it means to these boys. They're willing to put their bodies on the line, sacrifice everything to get that win, which they've got there, and now they are thoroughly enjoying, rightly so.
So the celebrations continue here at Allianz Park. There are Tonbridge receiving their fans.
I don't think they're going to have to go to Saturday school tomorrow morning.
You'd hope not, wouldn't you?
I would have thought they maybe let off Saturday school tomorrow.
Don't forget we have more coverage coming up on englandrugby.com. The AASE, the Ace League final, is due to take place very shortly between Gosforth Academy and Exeter College. So do join us on that live stream, which will be starting at around 4:45. And as Tonbridge celebrate over on the far side, I think we're hoping to grab a word with the man of the moment once he's finished having his photo taken. And that is Blaise Mott, who you can just see on the left having his picture taken. So as we build up to speaking to the man of the match, Sam Howard, it was your selection. Just tell us what contribution Blaise Mott made amongst the front rows today.
Well, he did absolutely everything out there. In the first half, he made a turnover, got the penalty. He carried brilliantly in open play, nearly always getting over the gain line. He made try-saving tackles. He was getting around the pitch and making tackles. He was excellent. He's lifting in the line out, pushed very hard by his fellow prop and captain, who also had an excellent game.
Yeah.
But I think he was, throughout the game, he was outstanding. So, as I said, I don't often like giving props man of the match, but he was he had a superb game and thoroughly deserved it.
Made an exception for an exceptional player. Okay, well, I understand he is now ready to speak to us, so let's go down and join Blaise Mott with Dave Rogers.
Things first, how does it feel to be a champion?
I'm just overcome with emotion right now. The whole game, it was just a blur. It was unbelievable.
And start to finish, it looked physical, a real proper cup final.
Yeah, it was really tough. I mean, they ran at us with all we got. We managed to put them back on a few occasions, so yeah, really good fun, great match.
Well, great fun, a big smile on your face, and you're clutching that man of the match jersey as well, a big performance on the big stage. How does that feel for you personally?
Yeah, really good. It's great, I have my parents here watching, so I'd just love to give everyone a good performance. Thank you very much.
And you certainly did that. A little bit of an injury to the left hand, do you think that'll keep you out for long?
Nah, it should be all right. I think it's just stiffened up a bit, wants a bit of strapping, and I'll be ready to go again.
And finally, what about that brilliant Tonbridge support?
Yeah, unbelievable from all the boys. They just kept us going when we were camped on our line defending. The cheering, it just got us through it. It was really brilliant.
Well, Blaise, congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If we're talking about good names in rugby, then Blaise has got to be one of them, hasn't it? He was already a stick-on for man of the match with that sort of first name. Well, we can see down in front of us the teams beginning to have their pictures taken ahead of the Ace League final, which will be coming up on our live stream at 4:45. But that just about rounds off our coverage for the 2016 NatWest Schools Cup Champions Trophy. My thanks to Sam Howard. Been great having you alongside us, Sam. The right winner in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for having it. It's been a great game. I've really enjoyed it. And as I said, Tonbridge were worthy winners on the day. Absolutely. Bedford putting up a good fight, but Tonbridge took their chances and are going to have a great weekend, I would have thought.
I'm sure they are, yes. Well, thank you very much, Sam. And Sam has been warming the seat ably for England women's Natasha Hunt, who will be joining us for the Ace League final. So do join us on that live stream, as I said, kicking off at 4:45 on englandrugby.com. But that's it. Congratulations to Tonbridge. They run out winners in the final against Bedford School by 17 points to 10. Bye-bye from all of us for now.